Dallas Winslow's Auburn Cord Duesenberg Company. I can't read you this all, but this fellow, Dallas Winslow, bought the factory, components, and administrative building and repaired cars here for years and years, buying his employees brand new Fords every year, or letting them have the use of these Fords every year. And the top floor of the now museum housed an automobile repair shop that for years and years was used to repair the cars that were basically orphans. And all the services were available. Upholstery work, body work, engine remanufacturing, parts were manufactured to replace new old stock. And we've got a beautiful Auburn 852 supercharged and a 653 Auburn coupe. And I'd mentioned that the factory had all been torn down, but in fact a lot of the buildings still exist behind the museum. There's a number of buildings and sheds, and there's a truck museum with a big flat roof. I thought all the buildings were demolished, but in fact a lot of them still exist. Old manufacturing work. Assembly plant. I can't name the buildings exactly, but a lot of the factory buildings still exist from the 30s. Here's a 1908 Auburn that had been in the original ownership from 1908 until the 70s when a tornado hit and the barn collapsed. And it was on exhibit in as-found shape as they dug it out of the barn. Rolling basket case, crushed. New parts showed up. There's the barn. Collapsed on top of this car. It had been owned by what was going to be a dealer in 1908. They used it for their own personal use up until the 70s. 60 years. Here's an original car. A Zimmerman. First owned by John Zimmerman, who became company president and later purchasing agent for the Auburn Automobile Company. 1910 Zimmerman, in original condition. It's going to be 100 years old. There's the floorboards and a little seat for your mother-in-law, I suppose. All original. A little worn out, but it was used. That's the sparker box, I think. Brass acetylene lamps. Galvanized steel hood. Top bows and the straps, the old windscreen. Two-cylinder, horizontally opposed, air-cooled engine. $1910, maintained in its original condition. All kinds of little cars. 52 Crossley. Aluminum. 1952 Cistalia 202 Grand Sport. Another Cord front-wheel drive. Duesenberg racing car. 1927 straight 8 engine. Duesenberg race car. You got to come to the museum. There's a lot more here to see. Speedometer only goes to 60 miles an hour. No, tachometer goes to 6,000 RPM. Just a tach. Just go as fast as you can and don't blow the engine. Here's the Duesenberg racing history. Auburn and Cord racing. 1932 Auburn 12 Speedster. Lycoming V12. You think a tachometer on the steering column is something new? Guess again. 1934. Auburn Boat Tail V12. Cool. Exhaust tips. 2 chrome exhaust tips. Look at that big exhaust pipe. Straight 8. Bet you that thing rumbles. Beautiful. Straight 8. Duesenberg. There they are, racing on the mud. Here's the building we're standing in right now. Auburn. Prowler. Copper coils. Racing, modified for racing. Smaller windshields, large tachometer, and a copper cooling coil. Raced in Europe in 1933. Second place overall in the Climb to the Clouds race held at Mount Washington. Some more cars here. Studebaker, Crosley, and Avanti supercharged. Extra power. Stutz or a Studebaker? No, it's a Studebaker. Studebaker. All kinds of rare cars. Another Studebaker. 2 Studebakers. In Indiana, 1852, pardon me, 1852 to 1963. Rust proofing. Stamping louvers.
Or in such cases where only 2 or 3 cars were actually produced during the lifetime of the brand. Why Indiana?
Who's your Indiana pioneer? There's gearless transmissions. Oh, there's more cars. Production cars made in Indiana. Just too much to see here at the museum. The Auburn Duesenberg Museum. 1904 Auburn. Earliest Auburn known to exist. Auburn. Another Auburn.
I don't know, Brian. There sure seems to be more here than mere convenience. I thought that was my job. If we're going to be so
Here's an old showroom picture.
we very likely
Auburn showroom picture. 1927-28. 1924 Auburn. Beauty 6. 1923 Beauty 6. Ah, here's a tall one. 1912 Model 30L Special Format Sedan. You can almost stand up in it. 4-cylinder chassis.
Look
at this.
The bigger they are, the more
Wish I had more time. Wish you can come and visit. What a huge car. 1911. Model N touring car.
How fast?
40 to 50. How does one witness scripture?
Model 639, 1917. $1,345.
Doogies fly.
No running boards, just steps, like on a truck. That's it. Don't squeeze the bulb horn.